Babe, looks do matter. In your journey to reinvention, of course, changing on the inside is so important, but so is changing on the outside. How you present yourself physically is the very first thing that anybody will ever know about you, sis. So it needs more priority. If you're new here, my name is Maya, and here we talk about self-improvement, becoming better women, and reinventing our lives because we cannot pour from an empty cup. Plus, we do some cute little vloggy vlogs for the vibes. Make sure you guys hit subscribe for more, and let's get into this video.
It's not that I don't want you here.
In this video, we're gonna be talking about how to rebrand yourself as a woman. This is a journey that I started a few years ago, and it honestly has changed my life. Because though a lot of us don't want to accept it, how we look and how we present ourselves to the world is one of the most important things, because ain't nobody ever gonna know if you funny, if you're kind, if you're nice, hardworking. No one will ever know if they don't feel like you're approachable, if you're not appealing to their eye. It sucks because we would love to think that we live in a world where people don't care about how people look. You want people to notice who you are on the inside. However, I'm just gonna be real with you, sis. That's not the world we live in. So we want to make sure we are positioning ourselves to get the opportunities we want, to get in the rooms we deserve to be in. We have to put ourselves in the position to win. And how you look physically really does matter. So in this video, I'm going to be giving you guys 5 tips on how to start your personal rebranding journey. So what is personal rebranding? First of all, let's think about branding. Think about any big brand that you know. What is the image that pops up in our mind when we think about them? I'm talking about the big brands, baby, like the Nike, Coca-Cola, that type of vibe, right? What do we think of? We could probably think of colors, vibes, slogans, etc. Personal branding is exactly the same, except it's for you. So rebranding is about creating a completely new aesthetic, a complete different vibe for you as the woman that you are becoming. Some people might think it doesn't matter, but in the world we live in, baby, I'm sorry to tell you, it definitely does. One, because looks will always be what people see first. Always. I know we think that we can add so much to a conversation, to a room, to give ideas, but not if the door is closed. And how we look on the outside sometimes does open the door. Also, the world values appearance. It is what it is. So we have to conform in order to get what we want. Also, in the world we live in, we could lose some initial credibility because of how we look. So if you have a room full of businessmen, they all have their suits, there's a standard, there's an aesthetic, there's a vibe. And a man walks in from off the street with, raggedy clothes, maybe no shoes on, and he will lose credibility before he opens his mouth. He could be the smartest man in the room. However, the judgment will already be there because of how he presented himself. Also, not to mention, our mental health and productivity increases when we look better. I feel like this must be proven. I don't know if it's proven, but I know I have proved it in my own life. I feel better when I look better, even if I ain't doing nothing for the day. I always put on a cute little 2-piece set, at least do my brows, child, so that I know that I'm looking like something. I'll pass the mirror and be like, oh, all right, girl. It just makes me feel better. Lastly, our personal aesthetic and how we look tells people who you are before you even open your mouth. And that's what we want. Tip number 1, decide on an aesthetic. I'm all about intentionality, baby. So I feel like it's important to make sure you have a plan. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. You're gonna choose an aesthetic, which is pretty much a cohesive vibe of what you want people to see. I think it's important for your brand to reflect a piece of your personality so that it's authentic to you. Of course, you can make your aesthetic more around like a trend, which is like a high value woman. You know, what the internet tells you that type of woman is supposed to look like, or like around an activity like yogas, Pilates, or even like a fitness vibe, For me, I think it's different. I think it's more about a vibe. What colors and what vibe puts you most at peace, or what makes you feel the most like you? With choosing this aesthetic, I encourage you to choose a color scheme. For me, it's the neutrals, baby, the white, the browns, the nudes, the blacks, just the vibes. That's me. I love that. But for you specifically, what kind of colors feed into who you are? If you are eclectic and colorful, that's your vibe. If you are more preppy and sophisticated, that's your vibe. If you want a more sexier vibe, that's your vibe. Once you decide on a color scheme, it should apply to your entire life. Because like I said, this is a cohesive vibe that people will visually see and associate with you. Tip number 2, research and surround yourself with this personal aesthetic. We all got our faces in our phones 24/7. Don't even front. So what I mean is your social media, the things that you consume, surrounded with your personal aesthetics. If you need fashion inspo, or you need to know like, how would someone in my aesthetic do their makeup? I want to do this, that, and the other. How do I do it? This is when you surround yourself with it. Follow YouTubers, follow influencers, Instagram, TikTok. Pinterest is a really, really great one to find your style and immerse yourself in it. If you're looking at it and you see it all the time, it becomes more natural to you. But also when we're thinking about our personal aesthetic, it's also in alignment with who we are and who we want to be. Sometimes an aesthetic can go with different mindsets, the ideal life that you're going for. So me personally, I started to unfollow people who did not align with my aesthetic or my persona. So yes, there are people who don't dress the way that I want to dress, and I'll still follow them because they are in alignment with something that I want, or that inspires me, or that motivates me. So in that case, I'm not saying like, if you dress like me, just like stop following anybody that wears color. Like that's not the point. All I'm saying is follow people who inspire you on maybe a mental level, relationship level, or motivational level, but also make sure you are following people who have the same vibe and aesthetic that you are going for, because you'll get inspiration, you'll get motivation to get dressed. You will be easily more able to curate your life details around this personal aesthetic when you surround yourself with it. Tip number 3, which is very obvious, and that is to examine your person and make the necessary changes. So now that you know the direction you want to go in, now we start making those small changes. If it have to be small, that's okay. Especially in this world, in this economy, baby. You just can't go out and buy a whole new wardrobe, you know, buy a whole bunch of jewelry, buy a whole bunch of stuff for your home. It's just unrealistic. But you can take baby steps, and you can look in your closet to see what you already got that goes with the vibe, right? So for me, as an example, when I was creating my personal aesthetic, I got rid of so many items. I donated them to the Goodwill, and good riddance. Because I wanted to make getting dressed easier for me. So I wanted to have simple, more timeless pieces all up and through my wardrobe that I can mix and match, so that I always look put together, whether I'm going to dinner and being fancy or running to the store for errands. So for that reason, I do live off a capsule wardrobe. Yes, I have a lot of other pieces, but the capsule wardrobe is my go-to. And if you do not know what that is, a capsule wardrobe is a smaller amount of items that I can mix and match for a season in order to always have something to wear. And that works a lot for me, being that I go towards neutrals, because neutrals you can mix and match all up and through. You know, you don't have to worry about color and things like that. Another thing when it comes to clothes, I want it to look more put together and sophisticated at all times. So though I like a good, you know, sweatsuit set, if I'm running errands for the day, meaning Target and Starbucks, and throw in home goods too, I want to be comfortable, but I also want to look sophisticated and pulled together. So like, instead of wearing sweatpants, I started to wear trousers or like wide leg pants. They're super comfortable and feel like sweatpants. They give you the vibe of the sweatpants comfort wise, but they look so much more pulled together. So making changes like that in your wardrobe is doable, so that you can start to become that woman that you want to be. Also with your hair, y'all know if you watch me, my hair is either always down, or it's a middle part or a side part, very clean, or I'll have it pulled back into a bun. So whatever hairstyle you think goes with your aesthetic, I would choose maybe 2 or 3 and just rotate them styles out. That way you have a signature look about yourself and people know what to expect. The exact same thing goes for your makeup. So for me personally, I want a very clean look. Sometimes I still do like shimmer on the eye and things like that, but I tailor it to my clean, neutral aesthetic. We also can go into a signature fragrance. We can go into jewelry choices. I try to make sure that every aspect of my look points towards the aesthetic that I want people to see cohesively from me. Tip number 4, examine your surroundings. So your personal brand is not just about how you look physically as a person. It's also about what your life looks like and if it all aligns together. This is where the daily items and the home decor come in. Like for me, my water bottle intentionally looks like this. It matches my home, right? That's in my background. It intentionally looks this way. Different things that I use, pens, notebooks. I have a little handheld fan, even the mirror that I keep in my bags. Like all of those things speak towards my aesthetic. I feel like it would be off brand for me if I was at dinner and I pulled out a mirror that was bright red. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a full vibe and a full aesthetic. This also goes for your home decor. I believe that your environment should be a reflection of your personal brand and development. And that's why this tip is important, because when we're at home, when we are grabbing something that we grab all the time, we want to still be in that vibe. We want this aesthetic to be us and feel like us, and you'll feel way more comfortable if your entire life also looks this way. So before we get to the next tip, I gotta plug a little something. If you're unaware, I did just start a brand new YouTube membership on my channel, and it is called Babes Reinvented. Babes Reinvented is a YouTube membership that talks all about reinventing and rebranding yourself as a woman. Here, obviously, we talk about this stuff, but it's a little bit more on a surface level. In the membership, we get real. We have some real serious conversations about things that plague us as women that can keep us from moving forward and getting the life that we want. Essentially, this membership is less me trying to teach because I'm in my own stage of life where I'm trying to figure out my stuff. It's more to create a community of women who are like-minded, want some of the same things, have some of the same struggles, so that we can chat with each other, help each other out, and have real and raw conversations so that we can aim towards healing. In the membership, you do get a monthly live or Zoom call so that we can talk back and forth. Also, exclusive videos that tackle topics like body image, healing past traumas, life expectations, losing ourselves as women, self-worth, personal aesthetics, and so much more. To join the membership, all you have to do is click join on my channel. It's that simple, it's that easy. I also have a welcome video waiting for you there for you to get a little bit more information, and hopefully I'll see you guys there. Tip number 5, change your habits and your routines to point towards your goals. In my reinvention video, which I will make sure I tag for you guys and the link will be in the description, we did talk about who your dream woman is. Think about her daily routines and her daily habits. This is just essentially how she lives her life. What is she doing with her time? What does she truly value? And does her daily routine reflect those values? I believe that this is a part of your aesthetic and your brand, because not only is your routines and your habits a physical representation of what's going on in your mind, but I believe it further complements the aesthetic physically that you are creating for yourself. So I would think about what habits do you need to change in order to align with the rebranded and reinvented version of you. This could be creating a morning routine, an evening routine, a skincare routine, making sure you're moving your body and getting your steps in, meal prepping, getting into the habits of journaling or writing down goals or reading. All of these things can be in alignment with how we look physically, as well as the work that we're doing on the inside. This has a tendency to sound very overwhelming, I'm aware. But I think you should just have small changeable things that you can change on a daily basis. Baby steps is how we get to the goal on this one. So maybe let's say each week you focus on one of those small goals and then you do it every day. And then the next week you can add one more thing. The point is, for me, it's important to have routines and habits that are in alignment and that speak to my personal aesthetic and the brand that I want for myself. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and I'm gonna see y'all on the next one.